We pretty much are on everything that we can get our hands on. It is MIT open source. Like you just download it, it runs on pretty much everything. Supports OpenXR as well as Steam VR as well, like as the runtimes. And we did a I'll just while I'm on the topic of that, we also recently did our load test of 550 clients, and we're aiming for 1,000 by the end of the year. There's a few technical things still that I need to finish up on, but we're getting there. And the limitations that we're running into are solvable, so we're quite excited. Yeah. So it's the same thing. Okay, so there's a few things to understand. This isn't a platform. This is a framework. And with that, the upload process, for an avatar is very similar to something like VR chat, right? But the difference being that you end up hosting your own file, and then from there it's like automated. Everything is able to take that file, download it, distribute it, and so on. But the cool part about Basis is that it is MIT, it is open source. You're meant to build your own project on it. So if you want a different avatar workflow, you can just make that happen. You've got the ability to do that. Yeah.
I am very excited that you're here. I did not expect you to be in our humble Discord, and I've heard about Basis a number of times on Twitter. I think it's really cool, and I think the 500 people in one instance so far is already like incredibly impressive. So hats off, and I'm excited to see where this goes in the future. I'm curious if there are specific strategies with in terms of like rendering or networking that you feel might be advantageous compared to other platforms?
Okay. So the we've rolled our own server code. I wrote that, and it's pretty decent. But we're also. Does anyone know what Quick is? Quick networking.
Mm-mm.
Uh, okay, so quick networking is a protocol
Vaguely.
by Google, and it's what they use to do lots of things, including like video streaming. And we're moving over to that because when we did the 500-person test, we ran out of bandwidth, not in terms of like the raw connection, but our throughput through the server, it was giving up the actual, network transport.
Hmm.
So in the next 2-3 months, one of the best things about our networking will be that we are the first, um, I would say, entity to actually have an open source version for Unity and .NET for in 2.1 quick, and that's gonna be really cool. That allows us to push up to 1,000 because it was designed for that. It was designed to understand more about your network to get more out of it. Um, yeah,
Hmm.
and that's really cool.
So,
And it's also completely like it's fully open, so you can go and use it. You also have a server reduction system, so the server's in charge of reducing data for each player individually. And yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff around that. But I could go into it, but it'll take me all day.
so it sounds like Quick adapts better to individual clients' networking scenarios.
Yes,
And
yes.
has it ever been used in like a networked game scenario before, or just like video
Plenty. Yeah.
streaming? It
Yeah, it's
plenty?
been used a lot in, like UDP, style
Yeah.
replacements, right? And games as well, but not in anything that isn't MIT. Like, so it's been used in non-MIT projects, but now our goal is with everything we do with Basis, the funding goes towards the making it MIT. So that's what the really cool part about it is everyone will be able to use it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, just like Basis
Um,
itself.
I noticed that the world you're in is also in VR chat. Do you
Yep.
have a process for making? I mean, I know that like for the most part, worlds and avatars are very interoperable, but do you have like specific pipelines that make it easier to port VR chat content?
Yeah, so we have documentation for uploading worlds. A lot of similar scripts that do similar things.
Mm.
We've also got an Udon equivalent runtime as well as
Hmm,
Udon Sharp kind of APIs. So or functions, should I call them? Functions and bools and all the rest of the stuff. So you can convert your stuff over pretty decently. This world is made by Wispy Woo. I converted it over with their permission. They're a
cool.
supporter of this as well. And
I love that.
the pool table in the next room is literally from VR chat, but it has just been converted. Yeah.
So, like, I guess it takes, like, a little bit of effort to convert scripts, but, like, would it be feasible or legal to do, like, emulation, I guess, or, like or what's it called? Like, translation?
So the basis entity, we're all about pushing forwards into the future.
Okay. Yeah, so
What the
not being limited
consumers
by udon, I
Yes,
guess.
and what the consumers do with basis, that's up to you guys. My goal is to get the foundation into people's hands, and then if someone wants to make something like that, they can, right? But
Okay.
it's the basis foundation isn't going to do that. Um,
Right, so I
it,
guess
yeah.
a strategy difference is, like, VR chat progression is limited by what the company wants to do.
Yes. Yeah, well, in our case, like you can just write code natively. You can, write interpreted code, and you can convert VR chat Udon scripts over pretty quickly. That's what I was talking about before. Like the actual Udon sharp behavior and the basis network behavior are similar in a lot of ways, but different in the other ways. So there is some conversion there. It's not extremely difficult. The documentation for that does not exist yet. That's actually my job for this month is working more on our documentation. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So the only part of Basis that isn't licensed permissively is the base. Sorry, is Unity, right? So we do use Unity. It is Unity URP. It's 6.2. We'll be on 6.3 when that's ready as well. We try and keep up to date. We're using all of the latest tech, including getting help from Unity themselves with some critical bugs they run into or issues and ways of doing stuff, as well as literally pushing forward the industry. We're fixing a lot of issues with rendering for one of them, like getting mirrors working, for example, and dealing with foveated rendering and all that sort of stuff. Basis can actually do that stuff, and that's because we're modern. And yeah, so pushing it forwards. Yeah. Don't know if I exactly answered that question. Feel free to say it again if
I'm
I
kind of
didn't.
curious, so because right now, like Unity has some like ways to make multiplayer games of like Photon Fusion or like
Yep.
like some others. I'm just curious, like what would the maybe like I guess maybe like a difference be with using Basis in Unity versus like say Photon in Unity or like Normcore
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like one of the other ones.
So we're actually designed for VR. Most of those networking solutions you just
Yo.
mentioned are not.
Okay.
That's a big difference. We have a lot of cool tech in like how we compress and sync avatar data, so we can actually get to serious numbers. We also have the server architecture is both embedded into the client as well as standalone. So what that means is I don't know if you'll all be familiar with Minecraft. Like hosting a Minecraft server locally from your client is possible, right? And
Listen
Basis
server.
supports that.
Listen server
Um,
mode, right?
yeah, yeah. I had took me a second to hear what you're saying. Yeah, so we have those modes, but then we also support like relays, and a bunch of other things in that department. And I think the biggest thing to take away, if it's not that, it's that the server costs here are basically zero. It's all down to your use case, what you're doing. You're not paying for a service. Yeah, yeah, and you can throw
If
this
it's
behind
zero,
Steam's Relay.
then I'm just curious of like who hosts it or like because aren't there costs for like any kind of multiplayer game?
Absolutely, absolutely, and there are always lots, but they're a
Yeah,
lot less in the
I
basis.
see.
So it's the 550 person test costed us a few bucks, for example,
Yeah. Okay.
and the weekly server that we have that's been on, year round, is I think it's like $20 a month, and that's for a dedicated box in the cloud. Now, let's say the other scenario where you use Steam Relay. Well, it's free. right? And that's because you're essentially asking Valve to punch through the relay data to your players, and then one of them is taking on the responsibility. Yeah, so there's and we could get quite technical there. I think I'll
Sure, sure,
just
sure.
leave it at that. But yeah, it's very optimized for cost because essentially there's no other people in the jar. It's just you with a raw machine, and however you want to do that. Yeah. Yeah. So that's very much a platform question. We're not a platform. We're a framework. So what that means, where that difference comes in, is we don't host anything. I host a demo server for people to come and like see. Oh, look, it works. But the goal is that people build apps with it, and then they take on that responsibility for their games, for their applications, for their experiments. This is all free. I'm giving away the entire like foundation, and there's something else I wanted to say there. Oh, yes. Uh, actually, yeah, continue on. I was going to go in a bit, but I think it's good. Yeah.
I'm actually curious. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm just curious, but because I'm actually a game developer, I'm curious what's the best way to learn or get started with making a multiplayer experience with bases. So, like, how hard is it to learn how to do that?
So so basis, you literally can grab the you can either grab our LTS release from GitHub or you can grab the developer branch. From there, you just open up the Unity project, and now as soon as you hit play, you can actually just connect to this from the editor. Everything that I'm doing here, it's just built in. Um, and then you can also hot switch in and out of VR. With the server, it's just a VS project. You run it, and then you can connect to it inside of the client. I don't know if I've got. Give me a second. I don't think is that
By the
showing up
way,
on
I'm
my.
also curious, could like a theoretically a VR player play together with maybe someone who's just on a computer, or is it meant for like VR?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's also hot switch supported. So what that means is I can actually let's try it. It might break. It might break. Let's just see if it works. This is on you.
You wouldn't.
um,
You
Full
don't understand how
responsibility.
many
yeah,
demos break during these
yeah.
show and tells. It's okay.
So this is so I've just I don't know if you can still hear me properly, but I've just switched into desktop and I can switch back to VR, and I've broken it. Doesn't like going back into VR. It's all good. I'll open it up again. Yeah.
It doesn't like it to go too fast.
Yeah, everything. It you'll f if you try it at any point, you'll just find it to be very similar to, like I'm gonna say it, I don't like saying it, but it's a very similar experience to VR chat. Yeah.
I will say when I was in that that 500 person instance, that big test, it literally did feel like a VR chat community with 500 people in it. Like it was the amount of like smoothing and the like how impressive that like optimization was and how quickly I was able to get into it is really just a wonderful example of how well you guys are doing.
Yeah,
Not
thank
like
thank
how you want VR chat instances to feel when they're that big.
Exactly. Like if you have a big world, I feel weird in there with like 6 people, but if it's a big world and some 500 people can fit in there, 500 people can fit in there, and I'm going to talk to so many people with it.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll put this back over here. I was gonna move it over there, but I went, "Oh, it's actually gonna be music on that side of the on sideways." It's still very much like working through the kinks with the camera. It's it's a fun experience. Um,
It's
yeah,
it's really awesome to know at least like worst case scenario, God forbid, like VR chat financially goes under, like there is a financially safe platform for people to mass migrate to and it's not just like over, you know.
yeah. And I've done like a 3.5 hour podcast actually on the state of like VR. And
Oh,
one of the
where's
things I
that?
actually brought up in that is that we are in that scenario, sadly. Like VR chat is financially struggling as well
Yeah.
as I'm sure I think you guys were even talking about it in the channel. What's the other VR platform or was just VR platform?
CVR, Chill Out VR.
Well, Chill Out VR is also struggling, but the other one that lost half
Horizon.
their
Resonate. Oh, Neos or Resonate, one of the two.
well, no, it's neither. It's the other
Resonance
one that
profitable. They're
lost.
doing fine.
Rec Room?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
lost
Right.
Rec
half.
Room, yeah, Rec Room.
Rec
Rec
Room,
Room.
yeah.
They lost half their devs, and this is a little bit more unknown, but VR chat also lost another like 10-15% of their staff in the last few months. But that's not public.
I got laid off with half of my team at my last job. It's industry wide right now.
Yep. And the reason
Mhm.
I actually built Basis is I've actually built 2 other commercial VR platforms. And then I left those and couldn't take my work with me. And then when I went and I worked for another company, right? And then ended up leaving there and I couldn't get another job. The industry was just so screwed up. And I'm a senior 10-year, right? So I went, oh, I'll just build Basis. I'll build this essentially. And this has ended up being my full-time gig. I'm paid to work on this, all year round now. So I'm
Big
quite excited.
congrats.
Yeah.
Could you tell us the name of the podcast really quick?
It's with
I see
Nev.
one.
I'm more than happy to just link it after as
Okay.
well.
I see
Yeah.
one on Metaverse Degen Network, but that one's only an hour 20.
That one's old. Yeah.
I
And that
want
was
the
before I was
3-hour
really
cut.
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, and
I want
it's
3 hours of nerd. It's amazing. It's my favorite.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm really building this to be like, hey, it's free. People stop reinventing the wheel. Use this for your university projects. Use this for experimenting with stuff. I know so many people that are like, oh, I wish I could just have access to VRChat source code so I could like add these features that I would like to try or play with or do stuff with or yeah, go from there. And it's like with this, you can. You have that ability to make something unique. Yeah, and it's been designed for third parties to come in and add stuff and modify stuff. That is its entire mission is to try and break open this, closed walled garden stuff that we have. Yeah. Okay. So, uh, in the future, one of the next, we've actually just hired the person to do it, but we're going to have multi instancing per one server. Right now, it is one instance per server executable. And with that, there's XML files as well as code that you can run at runtime that will load in props and items and unload items and props. So in this world, we actually have the pool table is a prop that I can just spawn. And it's just persistent in the world now, as well as a bunch of the other menus and pickups. Those are all like individual items that are in XML files. So I know it doesn't answer your question much, but but yeah. So you can yeah, yeah, and our entire thing is to not become a platform. So when people are like, "Oh, can I jump to another experience?" It's like, yeah, we give you the ability to do that, but we're not building a server browser under the basis name, right? Because that would actually go against our philosophy. Yeah. And if people want to read the philosophy, it is on the website, basisvr.org. And it's had a lot of time put into it now, and I think it's a good read. Yeah.
And if I can chime in for a second, the reason why I've been pushing both ICXR and Dooley to just come together a little bit, Meta or Facebook started as a university project. I'm actually dying for any of the ICXR students to start something similar with Basis and then just reinvent Facebook. It was something like that. I mean, he basically hands you a giant cartwheel with all the code to bootstrap that project if you would consider doing that. Just a hint of like something that is possible. Although I'm not sure Julie would
And
be totally happy if you built a $1 billion company, but okay.
Oh, honestly, it's okay, and we're already like I can't talk about who's using Basis, but it's already a thing, and it's already exceeded the amount of digits on my hands the people that have been employed through Basis. Not under the Basis name, just other companies that are actually like, oh, we want this. We're now gonna just yoink someone from the community. It is happening, and I'm very excited to see where that leads. I also wanted to mention on the website, we also do have a features page that gives you a quick rundown of all the things that we have that is just like you get that for free with Basis, as as components essentially. Yeah. Yep. Yep. You can find that on the website as well. Yeah. Yeah. And it's honestly, it surprised me. We're up to 1.3 thousand people in there now, and then most of them, if not all, are developers, and that has been really exciting from all over the industry. It's a very, very dev focused community at the moment. Yeah.
Julie, I must admit, when you DM'd me a key for the game, I was so genuinely confused what this key was for because it was just like there's so many devs in the server. I didn't realize you were the owner of the server. I was just like, what is this? Is this like what is this key? What is
Yeah,
happening?
I've had that reaction actually a few times. They're like, "What is this for?"
Like, what?
Yeah. I so we every week we run our tests. I release about 200 commits a week, or a little bit less than that sometimes. It's between 50 and 200. And so this week's actually one of the bigger ones. We're testing out everything from microphone icon visibility to a bunch of new networking. To I don't know if yeah, Sherry, can you touch my hair? Because your that one doesn't have it yet, but I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, that's new. And that was actually something that we collaborated with multiple other VR platforms to build um, together. We built it together, and that's actually I'll just quickly go into it as well. Basis makes its money through both donations, but also company based relationships. And so with that, we pull money together to build things in the industry that don't exist, like like physics for jiggles and all that sort of stuff that doesn't exist at a social VR acceptable level or even game level. Yeah.
Are there examples of like is there, is there a list of like games that have used Basis in some way, or is it
I can
still
share
like
maybe one or two. Everything else
okay?
is in development. So
I
the
see.
honest truth is Basis has only existed for a year and a half. So
Oh,
most
okay.
things are on like you'll hear about it. It'll just be next year. And I'm really looking forward to that day. But I'm more than happy to I might be able to share some depending on
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
I'll
Yeah, I'm
leave
just
it
be
at that.
curious if
Yep.
there's an example of how it looks. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
I will
yeah,
say
yeah.
how I'm not using it right now. I'm so ready to use it for my next like multiplayer project. It is like it's right there. I'm ready for it.
Yeah. 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 It's got a long way to go still. There are still lots more things to do, but it is already well exceeding what is available out there in the public. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And
Yay,
last thing
mission
last
accomplished.
thing I'll say is check out the website, come to one of the tests, come chat with us. We're more than welcome to talk. Yeah. Oh, it's all good. You're all good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be going first because I'm also going to help out Jack with his presentation. All right, so I did present. I think I presented this a little bit ago, or at least attempted to, and it failed. So it's ever since I have last kind of shown this to people, it has been outrageously refactored. I reprogrammed it to be in Python. I ripped all of the random different, like beforehand it had like 3 different coding languages. Now it's all like beautiful. It's ready. It's at a minimum viable product. So this application is for SteamVR users. It is called Yap. Yap is my goal to, not necessarily goal, but it is all of my gripes with SteamVR in one specific place called I hate the keyboard on everything on PCVR. It is impossible, in my opinion, to use PCVR in any way that's comfortable, especially for typing. And of course, dictation keyboards have been a thing on mobile devices, even Windows, as well as any other kind of just application for a very long while now. So I put together one that runs from SteamVR, works on, is agnostic to any other headset that you want to try it on as long as it's PCVR, as well as is running completely local, so you're not calling to any APIs, any external endpoints, or anything like that. And it also works with any application, so it's not explicit for VR. I can just be on my desktop and use it as a microphone. So you'll see right here, this little purple app, this is Yap itself. This pretty much, at this moment, doesn't technically launch when SteamVR launches, but it will in the future. It's running OpenVR, and it's running, as of yesterday, it is functionally working with the newer input system with SteamVR, so it's no longer running legacy inputs, so it is actually compatible with every other headset. So on the surface level, it's pretty simple. It just launches with this application. Right now, there's two different modes and two different models that you can use it in. I can only show you one of the models today because I broke the other one about 6 hours ago. But so right now there's the high quality model and the performance model. That just basically changes how much the size of the model that it loads into your RAM for the dictation itself. Currently, the high quality model is roughly 3 gigabytes. The performance model works mostly the same way. It's been a lot of me fine tuning it, and it loads maybe 1.3 gigabytes. And I know I can get that to sub 1 when I keep toying with it, but me toying it with it to get it smaller is what broke it earlier today. So. But you can select any microphone you want on your device, and it just works when it starts up. So what I'll do is I will switch us to my VR chat view, which is why I'm in here. And you'll be able to see, as long as the application is focused, that's how most of this application works, is just based on how it's focused or not. I can open a chat box or whatever, and right now it's bound to the B button. I hold down B button and it prints. Let go.
Yeah.
Just like that. All running locally, doesn't do anything like that. Doesn't run into any issues or anything like that. And it's not just for VR chat. For example, I can open back up my dashboard and I can switch back to, let's say I want to go, maybe I'm going to talk to a friend on Discord. I'm going to use Notepad though. Open up a Notepad. Since it's focused, since I'm clicked on it, hold down the button. How's it going? There you go. Just like that. It's just a single input. As well as you can see if I switch open to SteamVR, you can see just very basic inputs, B button, held, start dictation. As well as another feature that I'm working on with it is actually OSC functionality. Right now it's called Yapbox because I want to actually ship this with a VR chat avatar add-on that allows for like a Animal Crossing style text box to just kind of appear up in the corner or whatnot. It's whatever you're saying. I like to be mute in VR chat a lot. So once I switch it to OSC mode, which was just that simple switch, now I'll try to get my mouse back over. You'll see I have a OSC listener just open right now. Nothing functions in VR chat yet, but talk right here, immediate over to OSC, and that just ports right over to VR chat if I wanted it to. The goal here is to eventually make it to a far more kind of well-rounded keyboard for VR chat or for VR in general. Right now, it's just the hold button for dictation. I'm going to be adding a function where if you double click the button that you're using for dictation, it also does an enter signal. But what it's doing is it's just printing that text that it actually dictated as a keyboard input. So it does work anywhere. You can use it on any application. But I also want to add that enter button. I also want to add some sort of focus system that knows whenever it's actually like in an application, because right now one of the major issues is I, as a user, will forget to focus a window, or like maybe like earlier today I was playing VR chat and I forgot to focus VR chat. So I was trying to use the dictation and it kept typing to Discord because that's what my windows were technically focused on. So I need to add some sort of like focus system to that. And a lot of this project so far has taught me how much I really do want some sort of like functional productivity suite for PC VR. I'm obviously not going to be making all of that into this keyboard because that's outrageous, but I will be adding more like just functional systems that allow you to type comfortably with in any Steam VR game or any Steam VR application. So yeah,
This is awesome.
I'm here for questions as well. Yeah.
Nice.
My-
I wanted something like this, like 2 days ago when I was brainstorming stuff in VR. I just
The
wanted,
only
like,
reason this
Post-it notes
exists is
around.
because I'm so upset at VR Chat's keyboard all the time. I love audience anarchy, and I'll go to like type a funny joke into the text box, and it'll just be me doing this constantly. Like it's like I hate it, and it's the same with Steam VR. Like Vision Pro is a wonderful example of like how UX, in my opinion, should be running in VR. And I know there's people who think, and I don't know if it's true, that Valve will be doing something better with VR headsets soon. So maybe they'll change how their microphone or like their keyboard inputs work there. But until then, PC VR feels like it is the least functional, like just least functional system to actually do anything regular computer in. So that's what I'm trying to kind of hopefully fix with this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kate, don't say I hope or anything when it comes to, the new VR headset from Valve. It is coming. You can just.
I say I hope because I legally have to say I hope, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you. Just quickly, have you thought about making an overlay for it? Like a
Yes, I
VR
have. I haven't messed with it too much because I'm gonna be honest. This is like my first major foray into like open VR specifically, and I've had a lot of trouble with just getting driver functionality out of this. This is the best iteration I've had so far where it genuinely interacts with Steam VR. The original goal was to have some sort of like button on your wrist that you'd actually press. And I actually do want to re-implement that now that I have a much better OpenVR implementation going on right now. As
Yep.
well as I do want an overlay that just kind of like gives you a preview of what you said, if that's possible. Just tons of things that just make it a little bit nicer.
Yep. And is it .NET? What did you write it in? So like, what are
So
you
this is
using?
all Python now. It was
Oh,
.NET previously, but the first version of this from about 5 months ago, or I guess it was 3 months ago. But the first version of this, when I presented it, it was after maybe about 2 weeks of work, and it was entirely C# because that's just kind of the language that I know the best.
Mhm.
But I found that C# wasn't capable of doing the things I needed it to do, at least not the way that I wanted it to do it and efficiently. I couldn't get C# to actually print the keyboard inputs as a focused application, as it would refocus the C# application itself in order to print.
Oh,
It was this
that's
weird
great.
edge case with .NET. Like I don't know why, it just was. So then I switched the actual printing itself to a Python script within the app. And while
Mhm.
that worked, it's such a weird way to do it. Like it just gets in the way. It broke constantly. So I told myself at this point we're doing C++ for the OpenVR API. We're doing C# wrapper for that as well as for the WinUI platform, and then Python for printing. I'm not doing this anymore. So I killed that entire version of the app besides like 2 parts of it, which was the OpenVR implementation I had, but I had to rewrap it in Python, and then also the UI, which I just read it in tkinter. But now it's all a single Python application besides OpenVR itself, but that's just being wrapped by Python.
Which
And it's
is
much faster.
oh yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
like which dictation technology is this like voice input?
So I'm using Vosk for the physical like reading itself. For like microphone
Vosk?
inputs, it's just Vosk.
Cool.
They are
Oh,
like a
Vosk.
local Vosk. They are
Okay.
like a local model thing. For the microphone itself, it's just basic Python. Just grabbing the microphone inputs and just
Got it.
throwing it over to Vosk. You can see in the logs, like you'll see Vosk turn on when I hold down the button. Pause it, it'll process it, and then it'll recognize it. It goes through a couple iterations to make sure it got it right, and then it gives you the final.
But Vosk is like a completely offline. It doesn't need like a cloud.
Completely local. It loads directly
That's pretty
into
cool.
RAM. I don't have an issue with that because I have 64 gigs of RAM, but I know other people do. So that's why I'm working on the performance model, which is going to be sub 1 gigabyte. And I'm probably also going to try to include some sort of like Google API fallback if people really want it. So they can maybe plop in their own API key so I don't have to pay for it. And they can
Is
just.
Google better for?
It's
than
not. It's difficult to say because it's obviously more performant on your PC, but it runs like you get the information slower but it is also a little bit more accurate than what I can get through this because, again, the local model.
Okay.
But I think having the local option is very important. One, for me, because I really don't like calling to APIs for these sorts of things. I would rather have that just run locally on my PC because I know my PC can handle it. And I know a million people who play VR also have PCs that can handle it. But at the same time, there's going to be a Quest Kitty or something like that if they want to use this with VR and they have like just 8 gigs of RAM somehow or something like that. They're not going to be able to load this in the RAM, and I want them to still have an option to use it. The main focus on this is UX. I want to make sure the UX of this is perfect, it's easy to use, and it's just pick up simple to use it itself. That's why I wanted the custom binding system.
I love it.
Some slight advice from me in my experience. You said you wanted to wait to add the VR chat add-on before shipping it, but I think it would be much better to ship what you have now because shipping MVPs is super important. It gives you more time for people to have the product and feedback, and then also it's better to ride 2 release cycles and like announcement cycles because like you get more people looking at your product at more times when you like ship a big new feature later.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And the odds are I'll probably do something like that. I know the VR chat feature itself like won't be that hard to make, so I'm going to try to make it when I'm really tired of writing in Python, and really want to open Unity again. So it's one of those things where I know my workflow is kind of like bouncing back and forth between things. That's how I kind of just focus myself and like give myself a moment to kind of learn again. But I know I will definitely likely be shipping this without without the VR chat kind of side piece. I know I'll be announcing it today, actually. I'll be putting it on LinkedIn today just to have like, hey, I have officially an MVP on this. I want this to continue on. Please give me your feedback, how you want to use it, how it works. I'm obviously when it's packaged into an EXE, I'm going to be anybody who wants it, please just ask me. I need people to test it. That's the best way to get information on this. And with the OSC configuration, I'll just if I release it before I finish the VR chat thing, which is called Yapbox, I'll just rename this to OSC, and you can actually alter the OSC settings if you really want to anyways. So people can use it however they want regardless. I'm not going to lock them to my specific implementation of this like random VR chat avatar. That's the hope. It's kind of funny. This is a silly thing, and somebody can tell me I'm stupid if I want to. But like, I just want to ship a paid product, so I'm going to ship it for like $1.50. So like after Steam VR or after like Steam takes away money, it's like $1. I just want to see if that's like a thing I should do. Yeah, like it works. I don't need to make like a million. I don't need to make money off of this. I just want to have a ship product out. It helps my portfolio even more. Yeah.
Yes. So if I feel like most people here know, but if you don't, I work on Veil, which is a multiplayer VR shooter, and I also kind of showed this in progress at the last show and tell, which I think was a couple months ago. Was it? Well, I've been working on it for about 2 months, and I shipped it a tutorial for Veil. It is currently just a basic. It's a beginner's tutorial. It takes like a couple minutes to complete, which is something that we were shooting for it to be pretty quick. And what else? I'm very proud of it, and it's had very positive reception so far. And people are actually speed running it, and they've gotten the time down from like a minute something to under 50 seconds, and it's been really awesome to see the speedrun tech progress on something that I've made. So it's like very rewarding, I guess. But I'm not demoing it because I think it would be cooler if someone who hasn't done it before can demo it, because that's what a tutorial is for. So
Kate is very awkwardly opening his stream as Jack says this as Vale watches.
Everybody watch Cage stream.
Jack will have to tell me how to get there, unless if it's going to just drop me in immediately.
No, not yet. So actually, because like So this has plans to be like this is a very high impact project, and currently our initial release is it's just a button in the settings panel right now because we want to release it initially and we want it to be safe, and we don't like, because if we have like 200,000 people who get crashed or soft locked, that can be really bad for retention and everything. And the whole point is for this to significantly increase retention and financials and everything. So yeah, and I shipped the MVP, and it's still going to be very much in progress. I'm probably going to be doing tutorials through the end of the year, because we also want to do like an artifact tutorial, a mining tutorial, like an advanced tips tutorial, and we want to like have these be like bite-sized like information dumps. Like you only see the artifact tutorial either if you click on it because you're interested, or the first time that you try to matchmake for artifact, because it is a pretty common issue for people to be in the competitive game mode and not know how to like plant the scanner or defuse it. So yeah, and we don't want to overload information at the beginning. Whatnot. But yeah, I'm happy with it. There's already, and we're also working with a third party vendor funded by Meta to give us analytics as well. So we know exactly which steps people fall off on. People fall off on after the first reload tutorial. So we're going to add more analytics and the sub steps to the reload tutorial to see where the pain points are. And because there are already some things I know I can improve on a little bit. And I know that there's already been a couple thousand people who have naturally experienced the tutorial through the button. Cade, what are you seeing right now? Because the Steam VR view doesn't show overlays, text overlays. You're also muted.
Yeah, that's what I was moving my mouse over. It is just going through a loading process still. It says abort to Armory if I can do
Yeah,
that.
you can click that.
Okay.
It's
If you guys obviously can't tell, I have never done this tutorial before.
yeah. That's just, it's like matchmaking for. Why are you friends with Ridge on here? Oh, it might be
Because
Steam.
he's on my Steam friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just go to the settings panel, the settings tab in the bottom left, and just click play tutorial.
Okay.
And if you want to try this right now, it's in the live game. It's free to play. So please do it and give me feedback.
Okay. All right.
Oh wait. Kate, actually, could you screen share your Steam VR view, please? Because it won't show the widgets on Steam VR, and they're pretty important.
Over here. Where is it? I always lose it.
Steam, yeah, that one.
There we go.
That works. Yep.
All right.
And I programmed all of this. I created a controller model function library and the framework for dragging and dropping tasks and reordering them, and it's very modular and should be pretty easy for artists to manipulate. This, we already know, this is too much information overload for beginners. I think that intermediate VR users will find these settings very valuable, but we want to support new players more. So we'll probably replace this with just a simple left-right hand screen. Like just choose whether you're left-handed or right-handed. And we assume if you're more experienced, you'll know where to find these in settings.
I would say, and this is just my input while I'm doing it, it would be awesome to have just like a basic mode, then a basic mode and an advanced mode with just like an advanced in the top right, and I can just be like switch to that, and I can know what I'm doing.
That's a good idea. I might bring that up actually.
Shooting range.
Yeah, this is exactly like I want feedback on this. And there's no audio, but it's probably fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh wait, there is audio. I muted. Yeah, man. Or 49 seconds.
I would be trying to speedrun it if I wasn't trying to showcase it.
Oh shit, Kay's about to learn something here.
Putting your hands up while letting go of the button to jump even higher. That's cool. That's a cool thing.
Yes, it's nobody knows of that though.
I did not know that.
Nobody knows that. That's the problem.
Shoot the gun till it's empty.
It's, what's up? It's just like a middle ground between just button jumping and more immersive. We like to have like a little bit of like skill involved. Another fun tidbit of feedback is we had the AK-12 in that section, but people were accidentally grabbing the mag, so we had to replace it with the smaller AK.
Don't shoot me.
You should try dying though. Okay, too late.
Not
Actually,
too late.
this should not break it. I'm pretty sure this won't break it.
I mean,
Yeah, okay. This seems fine.
did you put this guy here?
You ever heard of perf, my friend? No, don't hurt Carl. There was a fun like design challenge with trying to get teach people how to force grab in a natural way, because there's a lot of times where it could be awkward to put a gun on the floor or something, so we just put nades on the table out of reach. Just out of reach. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so bad at this.
Also, our grenade system is so like not designed to not damage. Like our grenade system is pretty much hard coded to damage player characters.
God, come on.
So this is a little bit jank, but most people seem to have not noticed.
That was bad. Yeah, that's very
It
difficult.
has a somewhat tight range because it's a slight like this is like slightly hard coded because I'm trying to ship this as fast as possible. It's like it's not great.
You may be trying to show it as fast as possible. Well, I suck at throwing, apparently. There we go.
Here you go.
No.
And that's basically it. If you
Nice.
if you don't do this last task real quick, we're gonna add at the end. We're gonna have 3 Rayab skins, very basic Rayab skins, and 3 colonist skins, and we're gonna give you like some gel to buy a skin. It's gonna be kind of like our CEO is a big fan of Pokemon, so he thinks it'd be nice to have first choosing your team and then like choosing a color on your preferred team so that you can like it just gives you a little bit of ownership of something like unique about your character right off the bat.
That is actually something I really wanted to do in the early days of Battlegrounds, and we never got to do it. Just not the direction the game went.
That's cool. Yeah. Yes. So you'll be switching teams randomly throughout most game modes. We do want to add like a preferred team like toggle in the settings. For game modes where team doesn't matter, like free for all or like the social hub, but we just haven't gotten around to it. And then at the end, so most people or a lot of free to play players like think the Citadel is just the game and they're disappointed, and that's a big problem. So at the end of the tutorial, we force you to go into training grounds matchmaking so that you know that there's more to the game to offer.
This is interesting, I will say. I already own Veil Combat. Like, oh wait, I see what this is. Never mind. I
So
just
you're saying it's confusing that you think it's a Veil Combat ad even though you own it?
Yes, that's kind of what happened there.
Yeah, I can point that out. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
That's
For
very good.
clarification, you can get the $30 game included with instead like a $10 a month subscription with a free trial. But yeah, that's the tutorial. Any questions? So that's what it is so far, and I'm proud of it. Yeah, I can take credit for all the programming, but all of the art is all the maps team, and they're incredibly talented and made it really special. It's like I love the map of it. It's like it gives homages to many different maps in Vale, and I think it's a good first impression. But yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if you saw, but the last Cade didn't finish it, but the last task
Oh.
is to matchmake for a training grounds match. It's like our traditional quick play matchmaking playlist, but it is more. It's available to free to play players, and it's more like dumbed down. It's just the training grounds game mode and only about like 4 maps. So you get a taste of what the like free for all or the team deathmatch gameplay is, but you don't like. There's benefit to having like many more game modes and maps if you buy the full game.
When are we gonna play Vale again? No way.
Anytime you want.
Hell yeah.
I'm always down. Thanks.
Like we will be recording this event or posting on YouTube. So if there's any specific things that you don't want us to post, so let us know. And if there's anything you wanted to like shout out for the team, feel free to post in the messages we have for the channel. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for joining us again, and hope you have a wonderful weekend.
I was
Thank you,
muted
Sebastian.
though.
Go ahead.
What's up?
Jack, you missed one opportunity. Like you mentioned a free trial something. Can you plug the link in the chat so we know where to look?
Oh, sure. I
You
mean,
need
it's just search Vale on the
Oh, Vale.
MetaQuest store and just open the game, and
Oh,
it'll.
it's only MetaQuest. Okay.
No, it's on Steam VR as well.
Steam,
There-
yeah, okay.
I mean, it's near the top of the charts, but I'll post a MetaQuest and a Steam VR link as well.
Good idea. you need to
Thanks.
Yo,
you need to plug your
Sebastian.
stuff, man.
We're like number 2 on the most played VR shooters, so I didn't think about plugging it.
Yo, Sebastian.
You do. What's up, DJ? You're kind of hard to hear.
Can I turn off your lights from like a quarter of the way across the world?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Technology.
It's so dark and scary.